Once upon Africa with Oye, sometimes the greatest lessons in life arrive disguised as ordinary moments, a conversation, a choice, a warning ignored. Today's story carries a truth that lingers long after the ending. Listen closely and let us begin. The king saw her once, and the world around him seemed to burst. Birds stopped mid-flight. The wind held its breath, and something ancient noticed him, noticing her. Before sunset, he chose her. Before midnight, something else chose him. Wow! What does this mean? Follow and let's find out. In the quiet Yoruba village of Iludotun, where red earth met stubborn traditions, King Woju-ade ruled. Strong, respected, but incomplete. No queen, no child. And in Yoruba land, people would say, a man without a child is like a river without water. The elders had tried. They brought noble daughters, rich families, royal blood. He refused them all. Then one day, he saw her, Sewa, a poor girl at the well, barefoot, calm, too calm. She didn't greet him like others. She didn't bow. She only looked at him, straight, deep, and something inside the king shifted, not gently, not naturally, as if something pushed it. That evening, he announced it. I will marry Sewa. The palace froze. The elders protested. Chief Boyeka nearly collapsed. Your Majesty, you cannot marry what nobody knows. But the king only said, sometimes what is hidden carries the loudest truth. The wedding was rushed. No proper rites, no deep inquiries to discover and uncover anything unusual. Just drums and uneasy silence. And one old woman whispered quietly, something was not invited, but it has arrived. From the moment Sewa entered the palace, things changed. The air felt heavier. Dogs barked at night. Children cried without reason. Even the wind seemed to whisper. Sewa walked like someone who had already knew the palace. Doors she had never seen before, she opened without asking. Rooms she had never entered, she walked into without fear. The king ignored it. Love had covered his eyes. What is love, really? Does it come from inside us or from outside things? That same evening, a royal mirror in the king's chamber cracked without being touched, and for a split second, Sewa's reflection did not move with her. Eh? What is this? Something big is coming. On the third night of the marriage, the king woke up suddenly. He reached for Sewa beside him, but the bed was empty. Then he heard a voice, not outside, inside the room, soft, cold. Sewa was speaking, but her voice was not her own. I can hear you ask, then whose voice was it? Bet me, something strange is about to happen. The next morning, Sewa was normal, smiling, gentle, respectful, as if nothing had happened. But the king couldn't forget. He began to watch her. Meanwhile, Chigoyeka had already started suspecting. Something that enters quietly, he said, often refuses to leave quietly. Servants whispered, she doesn't sleep, she doesn't eat like us, she doesn't blink sometimes. Still, the king defended her until things got worse. Are you asking how? Just follow the story. One evening, a palace guard named Remy followed Sewa. She walked far, beyond the farms, beyond the river, into the forbidden forest. That forest, the one elders feared, Remy hid, shaking, watching. Sewa stepped into a clearing. And then the ground itself seemed to breathe. The shadow rose, tall, dark, alive. The shadow spoke. You are late, Sewa. And she replied, the king is almost ready. Remy ran back and reported everything. Chigoyeka's face turned pale. This is not marriage. This is invasion, he said. They rushed to the king, but the king refused to believe. You lie against my wife. That same night, Remy disappeared. No sound, no struggle, just gone. The next morning, Remy's footsteps were found, not leaving the palace, but leading into the king's chamber and stopping at Sewa's side of the bed. The king began to change. He spoke less, sat alone, stared into nothing. He stopped consulting elders, stopped honoring traditions, and slowly Sewa began to rule, not openly, but through him. The villagers whispered, when the drum beat changes, the dancer must adjust. But this time, the dancer was trapped. Guess, who is the dancer they are referring to? Chief Goyeka turned to Mama Tade, the old priestess, blind but sees more than sighted men. After hearing everything, she said, the girl is a doorway, not just a person. Your guess is as good as mine. What's happening here is very strange. And pray, she added, that it was not you. Goyeka searched old scrolls, forgotten records, and then he found it. Years ago, during a terrible drought, a sacrifice was made. A child was given to the forest to bring rain. That child was Sewa. But the name of the man who approved it was his own. Boyeka fell to the ground. I did this? Before he could recover, a voice spoke behind him. You didn't just do it. He turned. Sewa stood there. You signed my fate. Her eyes glowed, fully alive with something deep and old. And now, she said softly, I have come to finish what you have started. Your guess is as good as mine. This must be reincarnation. The king entered, confused, tired, broken. Sewa, what is this? She turned to him, and this time there was no softness left. I was never just a girl, she said. I was a promise, a debt. The room darkened, the walls trembled. The kingdom fed on my life, she continued. Now it will feed me back. Something snapped inside King Woju-ade. Not fear, not anger, clarity. A king who does not question love will be ruled by it. Strong proverb. Do you catch this? He stepped forward. No! Sewa raised a hand. Darkness gathered. The shadow began to rise again. But the king moved closer. I chose you, he said. Could love weaken something that was fed by sacrifice? That question is for you. Give your answer in the comments. Sewa screamed. The shadow tore out of her like smoke. The room shook violently. Then silence. Then she collapsed, but alive. She turned to human completely. There was rejoicing in the whole palace. Peace returned, or so we thought. That night, Mama Tade suddenly screamed from the shrine. The door is broken, not closed. 3 nights later, Sewa sat alone, watching the moon. Too still, too quiet. The king approached. You are safe now, he said. She smiled softly. Then her shadow moved first. The spirit didn't leave. Sewa said quietly, if you are asking why, you are correct. The room darkened instantly. The sacrifice was never just me, Sewa said. The king stepped back, 2 steps back, his heart racing. What do you mean? He asked. Sewa leaned closer. The throne is the real doorway, she answered quietly. Suddenly, the royal staff snapped, the ground roared, and deep beneath the palace, something woke up, not rising, but already there, and now more present. The king fell to his knees. Visions flooded his mind. Generations of kings, each one feeding the throne, each one chosen not by people, but by something beneath. He whispered, "This kingdom was never ours." What does the king mean by that? Express your view in the comments. In Iludotun, they now whisper at night, "Do not fear the girl, fear the throne." Because sometimes what you think you conquered is only where you have chosen to live next. The fire you think is out will still be burning beneath the ashes. And so, dear listener, this story reminds us that love without wisdom can blind us, and buried truths never stay buried forever. The choices we ignore today will return tomorrow with greater consequences. In life, courage means facing uncomfortable truths early, because what we refuse to confront may one day grow too powerful to control. So remember, every choice we make plants a seed, and one day that seed will speak. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow Once Upon Africa with Oye for more stories filled with wisdom, mystery, and life stories.